three. There we go. A rainbow jumper. Kick. Jackson. Got three.
A high school teenager is just setting up standards in the NBA. Watch his breathtaking moves. With Jaren Jackson Jr. out for almost the whole season and injuries plaguing players all over the roster, the Memphis Grizzlies haven't had the ideal season. The development of GG Jackson, whom the Grizzlies chose with the 45th overall choice in the 2023 NBA draft, has been one of the brighter spots though. GG Jackson was considered one of the top talents in the 2023 draft class and was a 5-star recruit in high school, even though he finished all the way down to the mid-round of the draft. He decommitted and reclassified to the class of 2022 after committing to UNC, bypassing his senior year of high school and enrolling at the University of South Carolina. So what has changed all of a sudden? This is when GG Jackson's situation starts to become a little strange. Looking at his collegiate stats, you'll discover that he was fairly inefficient overall. 15.4 points per game, 38.4% shooting from the field, 32.4% from 3, and just 41.9% from 2. At a glance, those seem like some fairly tough stats. However, Jackson was only 18 years old and was South Carolina's starting power forward and go-to player. Yet even so, he performed a lot worse than expected at college in terms of both effort and decision-making. However, if you consider his performance throughout the last few games, it's very different from the impression that some pre-draft worries had of him. This season, in just 19 minutes a game, he has averaged 11.3 points on 58.1% true shooting, which includes 41.2% from 3 on 4.4 attempts per game. In just 23 games played this year, he has already registered 5 games with 20 or more points scored. Sounds great? There is much more. He now has the second best effectiveness from beyond the arc of any rookie, making at least 3 attempts per game from beyond the arc. The fact that he is already a really skilled shooter off the catch is extremely encouraging for his potential career in the NBA. He understands where to be when defenses are helping off of him and shoots with confidence. In addition, some of the catch-and-shoot threes that he has already made are from really long range, which might require teams to close out more aggressively to block shots or to move out a little bit more than usual to protect him. He makes 3.9 tries per game to shoot threes and is hitting 43.1% on passes. 7.2 catch-and-shoot attempts in a 36-minute period is that. That's precisely the type of wing you want flanking a player like Jaren Jackson Jr. Given that he can almost go to the paint anytime he wants and that he can finish at a very high rate, we should expect Jaren to draw a lot of defensive attention on his drives. Therefore, one of the greatest ways to take advantage of all of the defensive attention he receives is to surround him with shooters. Now, there is a great deal of confidence that GG Jackson and Jaren Jackson Jr. will form a great long-term match. When you combine his high three-point shooting efficiency with his ability to attack off the catch, you get a really good-looking play finisher who can make opponents switch up their approach when he beats his guy and closes out. Finishing? Yes, he tries the extra mile. His finishing stats aren't very impressive, which isn't unusual for rookies at all, but he still manages to make use of the extra length he needs to go past larger defenders. Additionally, he is quite cunning when it comes to maneuvering past shot disputes around the rim by using his offhand. He's going to shift his opponent with this lovely left-footed jab step when he receives the ball from Williams. He will then launch an attack on their front foot to get the ball moving across the middle. Jackson will now cross to his left hand and enter that area to go to the hoop when the opposition stops the drive over the center. He will have more options when working off the catch because of his size, which stands at 6'9 inches. With a wingspan of 7, he can shoot from the outside, just getting the shots up over the closeout, and he can get past his defender to get to the rim and finish over defenses. The thing that excites the most about Jackson is that he is more than simply a spot-up shooter and that he is not limited to hanging around on the wing in order to attract attention. In fact, they've been inserting him into plays with the express purpose of letting him score, like this swirl movement that makes it appear as though he'll receive these staggered screens on the weak side. To get into space and get the ball on the way to the hoop for the finish, he will, however, cut in between the first and second screens. He's going to play this play as though he's going to come grab the handoff. Upon seeing that his opponent is overplaying, he will perform the backdoor cut to secure 2 easy points. It seems cool for a 19-year-old, right? He is going to position this screen here for the cut across the middle near the elbow. The defenders will be anticipating him to burst out to the perimeter, but he will then spin around and cut across the middle, in order for him to alternatively have a convenient glance while traveling to the basket. Though he's not very tall, at 7 feet his stature will provide him with some attacking options. In several of his games this season, the Grizzlies have even experimented a little bit with having him play as a pick-and-roll big man, and the outcomes really pique my interest. When he gets the ball in space on a short roll, he seems to flourish because it gives him a small boost of momentum to complete the shot downhill. We believe that this is just another facet of his game that will be extremely beneficial to his long-term fit with the Grizzlies. Given that they have the ability to experiment with various lineups while playing small ball, Jaren Jackson Jr. as the 4 and GG as a small ball 5, or vice versa, would provide their squad more offensive punch. Furthermore, if necessary, Jaren could still play the defensive position of the 5 on the other end of the court. Should he be a prolific scorer for the Grizzlies? Many may believe that GG Jackson's on-ball scoring will be his huge swing ability. We don't really believe he needs to be a prolific scorer to be effective offensively, though, given who he'll be playing next to most of the time. All 3 of Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr. are excellent on-ball scorers, so he'll probably need to finish plays. And I believe he is already more than capable of accomplishing it. Taking into account his defensive contributions, the Grizzlies have a very strong two-way wing on their hands. When he is on the court as opposed to when he is off the floor, their defense improves by 4.3 points per 100 possessions. And if he can keep up a strong drive and merely pick up more institutional knowledge on the defensive end, with more reps, his height and athleticism should be sufficient to allow him to hold his own defensively. In addition to his strong paint defense, he occasionally displays additional rim protection. For his position, he can grab rebounds at a quite high rate. The most important thing to keep in mind about him is that, despite only recently turning 19, he is already displaying a great deal of promise. It's okay if he isn't the high-usage scoring wing that people saw him as in college and before the draft. That doesn't imply he's a poor player, nor does it rule out the possibility that he may someday become a prolific scorer. He does, however, now provide the Grizzlies with something they need as they try to assemble this squad around their key players. He's undoubtedly adopted the proper mindset and strategy. Before joining the NBA, he even stated that he expected to play the most of his season in the G League. And the Grizzlies have already signed him to a conventional NBA contract that is multi-year after he has demonstrated so much. He's the youngest player in the league this year and hasn't even played 30 games. While the Grizzlies may not have had the season they had hoped for, in the long run, all of this could have been advantageous for them, giving GG Jackson more experience and preparing him to contribute and be a key player in the team's postseason run once they return to health. That's all, guys. Keep subscribing and supporting our channel for more exciting videos.